Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a game called Miller Zoo, which is an actual zoo that's up in Canada. I looked it up online, and in this game, it's a cooperative game. You are working together to deal with crises that happen to animals and bring new animals into your zoo. Now, I want to say at the beginning of this here that this is a legacy game, which means when you win your first game, you will take envelope number 1, which I have in here somewhere. Here it is, envelope number 1. You open up this stuff that's inside here and add it to your game. It's going to make your game a little harder. It's also going to give you stickers that you'll be able to place on the board. So that's what's going to happen. And then when they will also give you new ways to play, new ways to win, new ways to do things, and also gives you stickers sometimes that you can put on the board if you meet different achievements. By the time you open the third envelope, it gives you the normal way to play the game, so you can just kind of play that. There's even an envelope that says when you lose your first game, and you'll get some things for that. They give you rules to put in a book. Here's the deal. I use some of this stuff, and I don't want to hide this from you. This is a legacy game, but not really. It's a little bit of a campaign game. It just adds a few rules as you go by. So when I go over this, there's going to be a few minor spoilers. I was about to say I'm sorry about that, but I'm really not. It's just minor stuff. Kids might be surprised by that, and kids will get a kick out of opening these envelopes, but it's not that big of a deal, really. The game plays almost the same way. Anyway, let's take a look. In this game, each player is going to have a character that they're going to be playing. So you have a pawn here, and there is the character here. These are, as far as I can tell, actual people from the zoo. There are different stickers that we put on the characters throughout the game, giving them special abilities and things like that. And what you're going to do each round of the game is the first thing, everyone's going to get, at the beginning of each day, you're going to get 4 resource cards put in front of you. These are going to show 1 or 2 resources and a golf cart. This is a wild resource, but these are the different resources in the game. Then you're going to draw a needs card here, and this is going to happen for each player. So I turn this over, and this will show an apple, and then it shows the tools. So any animal that has an apple or tools will have a token placed on them. This also gives me a card here for everybody to use. I'll put this card here. And then maybe the next player will draw this, which puts a comb over here. And it's possible for these cards to have more than 1 token on them. These cards are printed on the board, but as the game goes by, there will be more cards for a possibility of more tokens. There are 7 animals that you are trying to get into your zoo, to bring in. And there are tons of different animals that will be in the different envelopes that you'll have from the game. But once you've done that, in the afternoon, so I just talked to you about dawn and morning. In the afternoon, everyone plays kind of simultaneously. You're going to use your cards that you have in front of you to do different things. You can solve problems. But to go anywhere, you need to pay a golf cart. So maybe, for example, I'll spend this golf cart on the bottom of this card. I'll discard that to move over here. I'll then spend an apple and a wild to get rid of these 2 tokens. So I've gotten rid of those tokens. Hooray! Less crises, that's going to happen. You also might want to come over here. I might have wanted to go over there and spend the apple and the wild here, because once 2 apples and a water are spent, this animal is going to come in the zoo. Now, animals coming in the zoo is how you win. There's 7, there's 4 face up, and you'll have more added when animals come into your zoo. The problem is the more animals in your zoo, the more chance there is crisis tokens. If you have crisis tokens on the board, after everyone has done their turns. And so people will be moving around, solving crises, and welcoming new animals in. You then have to get rid of these, and you do that by just drawing cards from the deck. Here's a water, so the water's gone. Nope, 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 nope. I need an apple. Okay, a wild. But look at all those cards that we lost. And this matters because when this deck runs out, you lose the game. You win the game when you get all the animals in. That's basically it. At the end of every day, everyone comes back to the cantina here. You'll store resources, so any cards that didn't get used can be put here. Cards here can be used by anybody. And you deal with a crisis at the end of the day, and you go to the next turn. There's a few things that will change beyond that, especially on how the animal decks are built, but that's the basic gist of the game. So the classic game, which is here, and this gets unlocked, I think, when you open envelope 3 or 4. I forget which one it was. The classic game is a challenge that you do over and over again. I should mention these challenges. The game itself is not particularly hard. In fact, my son was very annoyed the first couple games we played because we didn't lose, and he's like, "We'll never open this envelope." Don't worry, when you get to the harder ones, you get to open the envelope. Or sometimes you just have a bad run of drawing cards from this deck. But there's all kinds of little challenges here, like this one says, you need to do something specific, then do this in less than 20 minutes, or win a game without talking. I found most of the challenges to not be that interesting to me. I don't want to play a game without talking. I just want to play this game and have a good time doing so. So the basic game, the classic game, the animals have different skills, because you'll notice the ones that I was showing you take 3 resources to bring in, but then they start getting 4 and 5. So you take 3 level 1s, 3 level 2s, and 3 level 3s. So that's 9 animals that you need to bring in. And that makes the game a pretty, not difficult game, but pretty basic. And then they have an advanced game that's even a little bit harder. But you're going to win. I mean, you have to be pretty bad at this game not to win the first one. The legacy aspects of the game, I don't think they're necessary, but I think kids will enjoy opening the envelopes and stuff. Although they do, to me, a pretty critical thing. If you have a legacy game, do not give special abilities to some of the characters in the first envelope, but not the rest. That's not fun for kids. They're like, well, that's not my character. I didn't get a special ability. You know, and they have special abilities now, but I don't. That's such a weird thing to me. Just put everything in the game. Other than that, though, I like this. I like the theming of it. It's a very kind and gentle theme. You have animals with crises. It's very easy. You work together with teamwork. I'll go over here and solve these problems. You go over here and welcome the animals that come in. There's a little bit of push your luck aspect where you let some crises go, and then drawing cards from the deck, using a card for movement, and this. Once you have the special abilities, how to utilize the people's special abilities to the best that you can. The whole thing's nice. It's a nice, not overly complex, not overly difficult cooperative game that works for families with a theme that people are going to enjoy. So that's Miller's Zoo. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time.